Hey guys, how you doing tonight? This is Bear with Bear's Den Acrylic Art, and we are back with another painting video. So, I have a very large canvas in front of me. This is a 24 by 30 that originally I had done a split base Dutch pour on that, was perfectly okay. There was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't anything really special. And I think that with a canvas this large, you should probably put something special on it. So that's what I'm going to try and do tonight. And I am going to try and not to make a giant mess because, my table is only about 28, 30 inches across. So space is at a commodity. So as you can see, the majority of this canvas is going to be done in oranges. This is going to be a chaos style Dutch pour. If you saw the video that I posted with the red chaos style Dutch pour that was kind of inspired by autumn, this is following suit. So we are going to be using all of the oranges. And when I say all, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 oranges, 1 brown, 1 yellow, or gold as like my primary colors. And then I have some highlight colors to go along. So we're throwing all of the paint at this canvas. And I need so many colors because there is so much surface area that I want to cover. So, speaking of covering, I am going to get this half flooded. So I will meet you back here in just a moment, and I'll explain what colors we're going to use. So see you back here. Okay, friends, we are back, and the side of the canvas that is going to be the negative space is flooded. I am not really concerned at all that probably the corners closest to you are not in frame because they don't need to be, because nothing's going to be happening there. I do want to try and get as much of this in frame as possible. So to that end, I have my ring light tripod thing standing on a couple inches of cradled wood panels, like an elderly person sitting on phone books trying to see over the steering wheel of the car. I needed a boost because it's a big canvas. And, it's stuff like this that makes me really miss having like a full-size proper dining room and dining room table. But you know what? We can paint anywhere, and here we are. So, anyway, I have this ribbon. This is the Golden's Nickel Azo Gold that is serving as the dividing line. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to layer all of my colors along the contour vertically, and then I am going to be spreading color horizontally and then blowing up and then coming back down and blowing out. All right. And once you see, how much space there is, that should justify the amount of paints that I have, poised and ready to go. So, first color going down, this is the Metallic Chocolate Brown by Deco Art Americana Multi-Surface Metallics. And this is just a lovely, lovely chocolate brown. It's a little richer than the, the rich espresso, but it's not quite as deep as the Pearl Deep Brown by Arteza. And this is going to kind of serve as, you know, an anchor color. Almost like the, I don't know, like the branch of a tree kind of thing, okay? Since this, as well as the last one, were all, you know, were inspired by the autumn, you know, the changing leaves. I think it's appropriate. So that was the chocolate brown. So again, we're going to come back in with just a little bit, you know, a thin bead of the nickel azo gold. Next, very similar, but still discernibly different. This is the Deco Art Media Quinacridone Gold. All right, and all of these kind of serve as the jumping off point for the rest of the oranges, okay? So, Pearl Marmalade by Arteza, which is a beautiful, beautiful color. Next, this is, I forgot to take the foil off. This is Horizon by TLP, which is a wonderful, and I'm starting up here, warmer orange. Okay. Next, we have Deco Art Americana in, this is the Warm Sunset. Followed next, one of the brighter oranges that I just dripped on my hands. This is Mango by this little piggy. All right. We're closing in. This is Edgy Saffron by Arteza. This is one of their iridescent jewel-ish tones, and we're not going to use too much, only because I don't have that much of it. Next, this is Light Apricot by Arteza, which is just a fantastic color. If you have never used this color before, it loves to produce cells. It's a nice opaque color. All right, and then the last of my primary colors. This is Harvest Gold by this little piggy. Now, I should note that the 3 TLPs that I am using were all mixed, they were all dispersed in about a ½ an ounce of Golden's Gloss Gel Medium. Then they got 2 healthy scoops of the pigment itself, And then I started to add in my US Floetrol. I probably put in about 3 ounces total, 1.5 ounces at a time, and then thinned with water for consistency. We're looking for a Dutch pour consistently, obviously, which is, and I will demonstrate, which I should have done. So, flows nicely off the stick. It leaves a mound, but almost immediately recedes into itself. All right. So nice and thin. But you have to disperse the pigments in a binder of some sort, because just doing it in, I should note, so 1/2 ounce of the gloss gel medium, a squirt of the Liquitex gloss varnish, and then the Floetrol. So yeah, Dorado Gold by Chroma. All right. Yeah, you can't just, mix them in with Floetrol. That is not going to work. I know this from personal experience. Autumn Red by Arteza, okay? All right, just a little bit of that. Yeah. So now that all of that is poured, I can come back in and start building out. All right. So starting again with the darkest color, which is the brown. All right. This is going to be what roots the composition. And we're just going to come in, we're going to overlap some of the color. Now you want to make sure that you are giving yourself enough paint to play around with. All right, the Quinacridone Gold. Yeah, I very easily could have just opted to try this on a smaller canvas, but I've been shying away from my large canvases because I've been concerned that I just, I'm not going to be able to pull it off. Because of my space limitations. But no time like the present. Okay, the Pyrrole Marmalade, Creole Lady Marmalade. Now, obviously, you are not going to need this much paint if you are not going to be using a canvas this size. But since, I wanted to continue playing with the autumnal theme, because now the leaves are really starting to turn here in the Philadelphia area, and that makes this bear pretty happy. This is the Warm Sunset by Deco Art. So you can see, like, this is just basically what a chaos style Dutch pour is. You know, you're just kind of putting the colors out there. I'll do a little bit more. Now, I don't have a whole lot of this Edgy Saffron, so I will probably end up using what is left in this squeeze bottle, because I have to order more. But I do want this color. Oh, there we go. All right, so that was the Edgy Saffron. Thank you for playing. So we're just gonna really mix the apricot in with that. And then this is going to be finished off with the TLP. All right. So now we can come back in and do some of our highlights. All right, so the Dorado Gold, which is a paler gold, okay? The last painting I used the Xanadu Gold, which is also by Chroma, which is a little bit darker. All right, I am going to put in a little bit of this autumn red. I'm going to put it closer towards the bottom because it has a brown shift to it. And then I was on the fence because there's already a lot going on here, but you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound, as my mother would say. So I am going to come in with just a little bit of the Golden's Pyrrole Orange. This is an aggressively orange, and I love it. But I don't want it to kind of take center stage. So I just want it to just give some highlight. And then the last thing I'm going to throw at this, Iridescent Pearl Fine by Golden. All right, so there is a lot on this side of the canvas. And I realized that I didn't put any in our upward contour. Ooh, I need a bigger table, kids. All right, so I am going to move everything back as far as I can on the table because this is going to get messy. So, quick once over with my torch. Yeah, so are any of you guys like limited on the space you have to actually do your painting? Um, you know, not all of us are able to devote a whole room, you know, but in my next place, whether it be a home that I purchase or another apartment, I am definitely going to need some studio space, because in addition to my painting, I'm also a musician. So it'd be nice to have like a music and art studio, place to put my piano. All right, so here we go. This is a lot, but I am looking forward to seeing how this goes. Because when you throw this much paint at something, it's going to go one of two ways. So, fingers crossed, Drew Barrymore. Oh, you know what? And I'm glad I thought of this, because this was the exact problem I had with the red painting, is I was a little too light-handed at the bottom of the canvas, and I didn't have enough paint to cover this edge. All right. Perfect. All right, here we go. Now, all right, yeah. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Wow, that's pretty. All right. Now we come in and we start going outwards. So let's see how much paint lands on the floor, shall we? Wow. Okay. That was a lot of paint. That was a lot of paint, but I am very pleased with how this blew out. Now, I did have to work the upper part of this a little more than I wanted to. So I did have to sacrifice, you know, some of the cells, but it was necessary to kind of, I was a little too heavy-handed with the apricot. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, there was enough of the other colors to go around. But I am very, very pleased with how this went. I think this fits in very well with the autumn. And yeah, so let me clean up my edges, and I'm going to bring you in for a close-up of what this looks like from my side. So let me clean up my edges and let me bring you down. Okay, friends, this is the wet result, and I am having to hold this at a weird angle to try and get the entire blowout into frame. So let's zoom in, and pardon the ring light as usual. But you can see that starting from the ground up, all of these colors and different shades of orange and gold, you know, everything, in my opinion, works very harmoniously. I love the cells right here, and I love what's happening like right here. That's fantastic. You know, so as we follow the direction of the blowout, everything kind of works. I like that the brown did not take over. It's dark enough where it gives, you know, some real dimension to the overall flow, you know, very much like, you know, the stem or of a branch or the trunk of a tree. You know, the only thing, looking at it now, is I do wish that this section right here and this section right here were married together a little bit better. But overall, like, if that's my only complaint, I should be quiet. So overall, I am exceedingly happy with this. You know, I did have to work up here a little more than I wanted to because the apricot was kind of taking over, but, you know, I still managed to keep some of the smaller cells. But normally the Pyrrole, or the light apricot by Arteza, is a wonderful cell maker. So, you know, if we pull back out and up, you know, this is the wet result, and I cannot wait to see what this looks like dry. All right, friends. Well, thank you once again for joining me for this little painting video. I have really been appreciating all of the views and the comments and my new subscribers. Thank you, everybody. It means a lot. You know, and if you are new to my channel and you like what you see, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit that like as well. You can also choose to hit that bell icon and be notified of when I upload new content, which is usually about once or twice a week. So yeah, speaking of content, this and all of my other work is available for purchase. You can find that work on my new revamped website, www.bearsdenacrylicart.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under Bears Den Acrylic Art. Or if all else fails, you can just email me at bear@bearsdenacrylicart.com. So yeah, so please let me know in the comments what you thought of the video, anything you would have done differently. I welcome the feedback, as long as it's nice. So yeah, anyway, with that, guys, you all enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope your week is going well. Have a good night. All right, guys. Well, after several days, this is finally dry, and I have to say it dried beautifully. If I bring you in all of these metallics, the Pyrrole, this just looks so dynamic. There's so much depth to it. We've got the metallic orange, we've got the warm sunset, which is a more matte finish. We have the edgy saffron, which is kind of a color shifting iridescent. There's even the touch of the TLP harvest gold up top. So, all in all, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. And if I pull back so we can kind of see the whole thing, I think it's well balanced. The darkness at the bottom is balanced out with the darkness at the top. In the vertical flow, I think it just looks like an explosion, and I'm really happy with it.